On the planet known as Motherworld, representatives of the Imperial Dynasty ruled one after another for thousands of years, but the hunger for power running through the Imperial blood led to their entire planet being destroyed. As a result, they sent their armies to conquer other planets and expand their empire. But one day, a traitor killed the king and queen, ending their royal generation. After the death of the Emperor, the reins of Motherworld became loose, and the planets that had surrendered before Motherworld now rebellions have started there. Taking advantage of the opportunity, a minister named Belisarius usurped the throne and appointed himself the new ruler. Later, he sent his most ruthless commander to the planets where rebellions were taking place. In a small settlement of farmers on the planet Velt, a girl named Cora is one of many farmers working hard in the fields. She lives with Hagen, an elderly farmer who considers Cora his daughter after she found him in the wreckage of a spaceship. Hagen wants Cora to marry and have a family, but Cora feels that she does not deserve such happiness because she is a child of war. One day, when the people of the colony were busy with their daily work, suddenly a warship of the Empire appeared in the sky of the planet Velt. Cora immediately recognizes it and runs and rings the bell. Village Chief Sindri and Cora fear that a warship is hovering in the sky, which is not a good thing. However, Gunnar believes that they are here to extend a hand of friendship and that they need to greet the soldiers, because they will buy their grain 3 times more expensively than the market. But Cora does not agree to this. She feels that they have not come here to extend a hand of friendship. Their purpose is only to capture, enslave, and destroy. After some debate, it is decided that they will not help them in any way and will not let them have even a clue about the produce of the land. Empire ships land near the village, and the Sindri welcome Admiral Noble. The Admiral explains that they are looking for the Bloodaxe siblings rebel group, which is attacking their grain stores. Sindri told them that they could not help them in this. They are just farmers. The Admiral then asked for grain and said that without grain, Motherworld's forces are weak. However, Sindri lies, saying that their fields are not very fertile and they barely have enough grain to feed themselves. But his lie is soon discovered when Gunnar reveals that they actually have so much grain that they are running out of space to store it. He revealed that, as the head, Sindri is trying to save grain for the safety of the villagers, so that the people of the village do not face any problems in case of famine. The cruel Admiral got angry at Sindri for lying, and he beat Sindri to death. The Admiral then threatens the villagers and says that he will return in 10 weeks and gather the entire crop without caring whether there will be anything left for the villagers, after which he departs with his warship and leaves some soldiers to keep an eye on the villagers. The soldiers throw the villagers out of a building in which they want to live. Eris activates a robot named Jimmy, a unit that previously protected the Emperor, but after the Emperor's assassination, they laid down their weapons and refused to fight. Now they only assist the soldiers with essential tasks. Even if someone attacks them, they do not retaliate. When Jimmy goes to the riverbank to wash his face, Sam, a young girl from the village, comes by. She befriends Jimmy, and Jimmy tells her a story. He says that Sam reminds him of Issa, the fairy-like daughter of the murdered king. Since birth, he has had the extraordinary ability to heal people and bring them back to life. Jimmy and others had high hopes that she would bring a new era of peace and kindness to the world. But tragically, she and her family were assassinated just before the coronation. Sam reassures Jimmy that she may still be alive inside him and gives Jimmy a flower crown that activates something inside him. Meanwhile, in the village, the villagers are discussing what to do next, and they come to the conclusion that they need to work harder to prove that their crops are valuable, and without them, the kingdom cannot get the grain, so that they don't kill them and they can continue to produce crops for them. Hearing this, Cora starts packing her things to leave. Hagen tries to stop her, but Cora says that the Empire's soldiers will show them no mercy, and they will meet the same fate as Sindri. However, Hagen pushes Cora to unite with the rebels and defend the village, but Cora refuses, saying that they have no chance of winning and that even if they tried, there would only be a massacre. Meanwhile, Sam is captured by Marcus with the intention of having fun with him. Sam screams for help, and Eris comes to her rescue. However, he is soon overpowered by other soldiers. With no other option, Cora approaches the soldiers with an axe, demanding that Sam be released. At first, Cora pretends to surrender, but then suddenly she attacks the soldiers, killing all the soldiers within a short time. Cora appears to have extensive combat experience and fights confidently alongside the group during the battle. In the end, only the sergeant survives, who captures Sam and tells Cora to surrender. But then Jimmy arrives, kills the sergeant, and saves Sam. When the villagers saw this scene, They realize that they had no other option but to fight against the Empire. The next morning, Korra prepares to leave in search of General Titus, a legendary warrior who had led her forces against Motherworld. Korra is hoping that he will join them. Korra learns that Gunnar had sold last year's harvest to the rebels, and during this time he met a man named Bloodaxe, who introduced her to the rebels, so she asks Gunnar to accompany her. After a long ride, Korra and Gunnar stop to rest. Gunnar asks about Korra's secrets, and Korra explains that when she was 9 years old, soldiers from Motherworld landed on her planet and killed everyone, including children and women. Although, surprisingly, Belisarius did not kill Korra and took her with him. He named Korra Earthalis and began her education and training on the soil of Motherworld. Belisarius considered Korra his daughter and was proud of her. At the age of 18, Korra fought and won many battles for Motherworld, during which she also lost her love. But despite all this, she remained just a pawn for them. The next day, the pair arrive at a town where they find some bounty hunters who work for Belisarius. It turns out they've captured the man who was supposed to introduce them to Bloodaxe. Gunnar has no other option to reach the rebels, so Korra suggests that they start by locating the great General Titus first, and then move on to find the rebels. The two then enter a tavern, where an obnoxious alien mistakes Gunnar for Korra's servant and attempts to buy him off. However, when Korra told him that he was not for sale, the man got angry and took out his knife, but due to Korra's agility, he had to step back. Later, Korra asks the attendees at the tavern about General Titus, and then a small alien uses a human body to speak and tells Korra that Titus makes his living fighting in the Colosseum, on a planet called Pollux. The alien warns that he is always aggressive. Korra had found Titus's hideout but needed a ship to fly. Meanwhile, the obnoxious alien returns with 3 bodyguards for revenge and tries to kill Korra. Korra rescues Gunnar and kills 2 of his companions, and when she is in danger, a man named Kai comes to her rescue and kills the enemy. Later, he offers the ship to Korra, as he is also heading towards Pollux. Korra explains that they are looking for rebels to fight against Motherworld, and the man explains that he will help them in exchange for money. Soon after taking off, Kai explains that they first need to stop at the small planet Frontier, as there is a landowner there who has a man who can be of use to Korra. Meanwhile, the Admiral learns that a rebel agent has been captured and has information about the rebels. Sometime later, Kai lands his ship on the planet Frontier, and they meet Hickman, who has chained up a boy named Tarek. Tarek had fought against the Empire in the past, but was captured and enslaved. He wants to fight again, but he owes Hickman a huge debt. When Korra and Kai ask Hickman for Tarek's release, Hickman sets a condition for his release. Tarek must tame a violent griffin captured in the enclosure and ride it. If he could not do it, then all the members of the group, including Korra, would have their feet shackled. Tarek accepts the bet and orders Griffin to be released. He bows to Griffin and assures him that he will not harm him, causing Griffin to calm down and allowing Tarek to ride. It flies among the sharp rocks and hits the rocks several times, causing Tarek to fall down. But after taking a long jump, he again jumps on her back, after which the Griffin calms down and lands back near Korra. Hickman releases Tarek as per the condition, and Korra is happy to have a warrior like Tarek. She tells Kai, "I need warriors like Tarek," and Kai takes them to Dagus, the planet of cobalt mines, where they meet the great swordsman Nemesis. Just then, Nemesis learns that the spider-like alien Harmata has kidnapped a girl. Harmata says that this planet was their home, but humans have poisoned the planet's air by mining, causing their eggs to weaken and babies to die, so she is taking revenge by kidnapping human children. Nemesis tries to convince her to leave the baby girl, but Harmata disobeys and starts fighting Nemesis. Nemesis cuts off his leg, causing the baby girl to slip out of his grip, and Gunnar picks her up. Eventually, Nemesis defeating and killing Harmata, Tarek praises him. But unlike being happy, Nemesis feels sad, as humans are to blame for everything. Meanwhile, Korra reveals that she was Princess Iza's bodyguard, and that she had the unique power to revive beings. On the planet Pollux, Korra and her team find General Titus drunk. On Korra's orders, Titus was taken to the bathroom and cleaned up. Korra wants Titus to join them in the fight, but he does not want to remember his past. Because he surrendered and his soldiers were killed, Korra inspires him to take revenge and reminds him of who he is. Meanwhile, the captured rebel is brought to the Admiral, where he confesses that the Bloodaxe siblings are under the protection of King Levitika. The Admiral then kills the rebel and orders his soldiers to extract information by cutting out his brain. Apart from this, he sends some of his soldiers to the planet Chiron to interrogate King Levitika. While this is going on, King Levitika welcomes Korra and her team to the planet Chiron. Just then, the Bloodaxe siblings arrive with their rebel army. Korra pleads for their help, but the Bloodaxe siblings do not agree to help her, as they know that fighting against Motherworld would be suicide. However, Korra reminded them that they have fed the rebels with grains, hence it is their duty to help. After hearing this, the rebels accepted Korra's proposal. During the journey, Kai admits to Korra that he wants to aid them in their fight because they have inspired him. However, he still has some boxes to deliver, so he has to stop at a trading post. After some time, the Admiral and his warships arrive at the planet Shiran and begin attacking the kingdom. For harboring the rebels, the Admiral killed Levitika and destroyed her kingdom. At the same time, the Admiral receives a message telling him where to find the rebels. Sometime later, Kai's ship arrives at a trading post. Kai asks for the group's help in unloading the boxes, and the team helps him. Meanwhile, Korra sees Kai chatting with the locals and realizes something is wrong. Then suddenly, the Empire's hidden warship appears and destroys most of their ships. Before the group can react, the boxes open, and the robots capture all the rebels except Gunner. It turns out that Kai is a bounty hunter. He already knew that Korra is a wanted former commander, and there is a huge bounty on the heads of all the rebels. So he gathered a group of great wanted warriors while pretending to help Korra and handed them over to the Empire for reward. Soon the Admiral arrives with his forces and tells Korra that she made her job easy. He also sees Gunner in the group and tells him that he did not think that Gunner would also join the group. Kai hands Gunner a syringe and orders him to kill Korra. Gunner approaches Korra with the syringe and apologizes to her. However, at the last moment, he frees her rather than kill her, and suddenly turns around and stabs the syringe into Kai's throat. Korra snatches his gun from a guard and starts firing. Gunner frees the other warriors as well, and they also join the fight. Darian's ships were destroyed on the Admiral's orders, killing many of Darian's pilots. In retaliation, Darian shattering the cockpit glass kills the pilot, but also takes a hit from the pilot's bullets, killing him. The Empire's ship goes out of control and falls into the abyss, and much of the bridge is destroyed. The Admiral manages to save himself by landing on a floating platform. When he suddenly encounters Korra, who engages in a fight with him, the two battling each other, but ultimately, Korra wins and kills the Admiral and throws him down. The surviving warriors arrive on the planet Velt, where they are ready to protect the farmers in the future. Nearby, Jimmy sees them wearing a strange crown. Meanwhile, Motherworld's soldiers retrieve the Admiral's body, and when they open his body to connect him to the Neuralink, it is revealed that he is a cyborg. Upon connecting to the Neuralink, the Admiral's body begins to rise and his mind appears before Belisarius. The Admiral reports that he has found Korra and the remaining rebels, although he has failed to capture them. Belisarius asked the Admiral to suppress the rebellion and bring his daughter to him so that he could kill her himself. After this, he sent the Admiral back